Hi Wayne, do you mind if I interview you for a video real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Wayne, can you tell me your name and what you do here at the plant and how long you've been here?
My name's Wayne Cates. I've been at the plant for 10 years. I'm in the furnace department.
All right, nice. So Wayne, how many loss teams have you been on or been a part of?
Two.
Two?
The first one was over furnace management, and the second one was over salt reduction.
Nice. Do you feel like that the losses that you guys addressed on those teams were important to the plant and to the employees?
Oh yeah, the furnace management really helped the operators out on the floor, and the salt reduction, I'm not sure how much money that has saved the company.
Well, I think it's been quite a bit. We'll get those numbers. Do you feel like it was a positive experience being on those two teams?
Yes, the second one went better than the first one. The first one, nobody knew where it was going, how we were going to get there. It was just a long, drawn-out process. But the second one went very smooth.
Yep.
We knew what we wanted to do. We knew how to take care of it.
Perfect. And you were on one of literally the very first teams launched here.
So very first one.
So we appreciate you being on that and willing to come back and be on another one. That's great. Learn a lot about the loss team methodology, team boards and routes and master plans while you're on these teams?
Yes, the boards, people come through, they see the boards, they ask you what they are, you can explain it to them. Some people enjoy it, some people are like, yeah, okay, whatever, and then they're on a WCM later, and then they understand more about it, and they're trying to explain it to you.
Excellent. So you guys are like helping teach each other and spreading the methodology. That's perfect. Wayne, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike. Hey, you mind if I interview you for just a minute?
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, Mike, can you just say your name and what your role is here at the plant?
Yep. Mike Sarver, operations leader.
Okay. Mike, how many loss teams have you been a part of or supported?
I have been actually part of 3 teams. I have supported almost every team that has happened within the operations group at least.
Okay. The teams that you were a part of, what was the loss that your team was attacking? I know you've been on a couple different teams. What were those losses?
Yes, I was on one of our very first teams as the team lead, and that one was, we started out as op care, then we realized it was more of a competency gap reduction team, and that was around really furnace management. That event was a very good learning experience. It was one of our pilot teams and very trying. We did learn a lot of things that we did right, and some of the things and the approach we took was wrong. And we did learn from those and move forward. So that was my first team. Second team was defect reduction. I was co-lead with Justin, our process leader, on reducing transition cracks to ingots. Really good team. Felt like in the co-lead role, I did some coaching based on my experience with the first team. And then right now, I'm currently leading a setup reduction team, which is around station change reductions or time reduction. And what we're doing is we've got 3 new operators on this team, and we're looking at the way we're doing station changes. We're using the WCM methodology and really, I guess, getting down to the nitty gritty of what we need to do and how we need to do things different. And the team is very, very engaged and doing very well.
That's awesome. Do you feel like the losses that you attacked with those teams were important for the plant and employees?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, sometimes when you speak of losses, that was another thing we had to learn with the WCM process. Losses is not what people sometimes think of them to be. Losses can be anything that slows the process down, from how you do things, or it could actually be a loss of a cracked ingot or unplanned downtime. But just understanding what a loss is has been, I think, educating for most teams. And yeah, I think all the teams I've been part of, we have, even with the first one being as challenging as it was, we did come up with some good ideas and good things and learn a lot out of it. So yeah, I would say the approach is going very well.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate that, Mike. Do you feel like that the experience you've had on being on a team was a positive experience?
The experience I've had on the team, absolutely. You know, the first one was very challenging, and I thought, again, I'm speaking to that a lot. I thought, man, what are we doing here? And I've been involved in the continuous improvement process from day one in the plant, and I've seen us go from one step to the other. So the first thing we had to do was just let people know that this was not the flavor of the month. This was just our next step in our progression with the continuous improvement process. And I think now that we have had some successful teams, the people on the floor seeing the benefits, I think our mentality here and the people's buy-in to improvement, this is just the next step, and yeah, it's definitely been a great experience.
All right. And then, you know, did you feel like you learned the methodology for running a lost team when you were in those roles?
Absolutely. More so with my second and third event. The first event, I was very lost. I think we, again, are learning a new approach of making sure that we're teaching the process more than just explaining it. Explaining and teaching are 2 different things. I think we're doing a pretty good job of teaching the steps, teaching the processes, and understanding the
Saving $1,400. We've done the inspection and the deep cleaning.
Routes were a big thing for people to, I guess it was hard for them to understand initially what a route was and how each step was so important, the steps within the steps. So yeah, I think the methodology is great. I think we're learning it more and more all the time, and I think the teams are buying into it.
I agree, Mike, and I think you've done a nice job as being a teacher now that you started to learn the tools. Being a future pillar leader, you're starting to coach the new teams on how to use those team boards and the routes, and that's key to making us sustainable. And you have a unique position because you're part of routine management as well. You're the daily meeting leader, and you understand how the routine management works. Can you kind of give me a comparison? How do you feel the format is compared to the way we used to do meetings?
Sure. The biggest thing I see and the biggest advantage is time. Our meetings, I'm going to say our quickest meeting has been 5 to 6 minutes. Our longest meeting, we try not to go any more than 30. So what we're doing is everyone that comes into that meeting knows exactly what their metric is, what they own, what they're going to report to. We report on the red, and if something is, I guess, a milestone or something we need to discuss, if it's green, we talk about that, but we definitely discuss all of our red metrics, starting with safety, all the way to supply chain, to procurement, stockouts. So this meeting is very down to business. Everybody understands what's going on. We have action items. If we need them, we address the next day. So, and our former meetings could go on as long as 45 minutes to an hour and a half, and it was really just, as bad as it sounds, sometimes there was meetings after the meetings. Now when the meetings are over, everybody knows their role, and we move on, and we're addressing the things we need to for that day.
Do you feel like that the way we're doing the routine management now is addressing the plant losses more efficiently?
Absolutely. Because the way we discuss them being one-off or reoccurring, everybody understands what those are, and we'll get to the bottom of it. And do some action items go a little longer than we would like them? They do, but that's just the way it goes sometimes.
All right, Mike, I appreciate you letting me interview you just to get your feelings and understanding on WCM. So thank you.
Thank you.
I've got Blake Shepherd with me today. He's our hot metal process tech. Blake is going to talk to us a little bit about some of the teams that he has been on. Blake, how many lost teams have you been on or supported?
I've been on a total of 3 lost teams. I was on the first round of lost teams to come into Berea, and I've been on 2 since then.
All right, good. Blake, what was the loss that your team was attacking?
I was attacking, on the second team I was on, we was attacking the timing of the burner bed changes. Something we found out going into it, that we was attacking a whole lot more. EHS being one of the big ones, with hand pinches. So one of the things we did was got a different set of binders. They removed the hands from the operation other than using a drill. That was our, we got the EHS one, the timing, the production. It was, our furnaces were shut down a whole lot less because we reduced the time from 62 minutes to half, almost 30 minutes. The cost, we reduced, we don't change the burner beds. One of our longest burner bed changes that lasted was, we went 17 weeks on one set of beds. So that was a huge difference from what we were used to doing, which we was changing every 4 weeks. In turn, that helped morale because the operators were, their furnaces were performing better and less time changing the beds.
All right, good, Blake. Do you feel like that was a loss that was important to the plant and the employees?
Absolutely, that team right there was it was a big improvement from what we did. Burner bed changes are a dreaded task, but it's hot, it's dirty, and us reducing the time to half and changing beds probably half as many as we used to has really helped a lot of stuff. It really helped the morale of the people. It's been good.
Okay, good deal. Was being on that team a positive experience?
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of good things to come out of it. I'm in charge of doing all the burner beds here at Berea, so it was really nice to see everything come to light that we were struggling with. So yeah, getting the new tools to do the burner beds with, getting some extra help, some extra hands. It was there was a lot of stuff coming to light and a lot of help brought into it.
All right. Did you learn about the lost team methodology? For example, the team boards, the route, or a master plan?
Yeah, I learned about all three. Like I said, I've been on 3 teams. The route that we took on this particular WCM was a little bit different than we did on the other ones. We thought it was going to be a little bit simpler, but it was a little bit more in depth. Took into some tools and things like that. So the route on this one was a lot more in depth, but I felt like it was the best route for the plan.
Okay. Thank you, Blake, for sharing your experiences with us, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Make the ground shake.
All right, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Good. All right, let's try that again. That was pretty pitiful. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good morning.
Morning. Doing
All
great.
right.
Good.
Okay. All right. Good. 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 Thank you for that.
Fair.
Okay. So most of you know, most of you have felt it. Most of you were there. We've had a roller coaster ride of a month. It's been one of the toughest. We've had some challenges. Everybody came together. Saw people trying to stay awake at work, trying to solve some tough issues. And so I think it drives the point to why we're doing what we're doing right now on a beautiful Friday morning, getting ready to do this all day long, because we want to avoid those kinds of issues, and we want to put systems in place so that we don't have those kinds of issues happen too often. We're always going to have emergencies, and we're going to resolve them. And I mean, the dedication and the teamwork that I saw this last couple of weeks has just been amazing. So we're now from 60% of plan, which is unheard of for us, to now 82% and rising. So anyways, in these we have covered
KPIs, lagging and leading indicators, the 5 levels of KPI management. I think Brian's done a good job of preparing us for where we need to be so that this doesn't become a WCM thing and everything else that we're doing, that it eventually all rolls into how we do business. We've covered the phases of WCM. We talked about routine management, the importance of holding the gains, sustaining the gains for the long term, the different models, loss analysis tools, the factory model. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drilling down into some of the most common improvement routes, get a little bit better knowledge on how to pick a route, how to select the right tool or the right weapon to attack the losses. So, Brian, if you want to take it away.
You got it. All right, guys, fantastic. Is it possible for me to ask everyone that is able to share your video for just 30 seconds, just so we can wave at each other and humanize this a little bit? If you're able to share your camera, just click the button, say, hey, good morning, have a look at each other. Scott, you look like a ghost, man. I wish I should get a screenshot of that. You look like something right out of a movie. Hello, Miss Krista. How you doing? Chan, hey. Scotty, no beard. In my mind, Scotty always has a beard. I hate it. I miss that. Hey, everybody. All right, you're free to turn your cameras off. All right. So, what? Somebody, while we're figuring out how to click this thing, somebody tell me about the previous sessions. Have you had a chance to practice any of the stuff we've been doing? Have you been asked to build a Pareto? Have you tried the 5 levels of KPIs? Have you gone deeper into root cause analysis or something from these? Anybody got any stories to share about how you've practiced some of these things?
A good one would be, Scotty, I think, is with Ed, what Ed's doing with us in hot metal, trying to get the area leaders, up to speed on, we know that it was a 0 speed, but, not only that, but he's getting them to do the root causes, whys. We're not, real deep into that, but it's a good start.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be a great example for where we're headed right here.
That is what Ed's doing with the area leaders, is trying to teach them to start scratching the surface with root cause analysis and go a little deeper. So, no, that's a great example, Chan. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I think it's a little painful at the beginning, as everything else is, but I think they're seeing it's going to benefit them, in the long run, and
Right.
I even say the short term. I mean, it's going to benefit them to understand what their equipment, because these guys are taking ownership of equipment, so knowing why their equipment's, being tore up and, what we need to do to fix it. I mean, that helps them down the road.
Hi, PJ. Do you mind if I interview you for a WCM video?
No, I don't care.
PJ, can you tell me your full name, how long you've been here, and what your job is here at the plant?
PJ Rao, I've been here 10 years, and I'm an area leader in DC.
All right, great. So, PJ, have you been on any loss teams?
Yes, I've been on one.
Okay, what was that team? What was the loss that your team attacked?
Oxide, hot crash at the transition.
Okay. So do you feel like that was an important loss for the plant?
Yes, it affects recovery, production, and with the demands of high on ingot right now, every ingot counts as far as to get the customer what they're asking for.
That's right. It's very high demand right now. Was being on a loss team a positive experience for you?
At first I went into it not knowing what exactly it might be, so anytime you go into something that you've not been a part of or something new, you have your doubts, but after being a part of it, you see that the goal is to eliminate as much loss as possible, because the customer don't pay for loss, and you want to maximize profitability as much as possible.
Yeah, great. I agree. Did you learn about the loss team methodology, about team boards and master plans and
activities? You can't go to the next step, which therefore would keep you from getting the route completed. And then I learned how to just explain the team board and go over that stuff, and what it's about.
That's great, PJ. And guys like you are going to be the future leaders of some of these teams, and you being engaged like you are really helps. The other thing that you've been a part of, PJ, is you were actually part of Tony Newport's change management training, doing it virtually. How did you feel that went?
Considering the pandemic and him not being able to be on site, I think he's done a great job keeping everybody engaged as much as possible. Being that it was virtual and he wasn't on site, he explained everything really well. Done illustrations and just overall done the best that he could considering the circumstances the way they are.
All right. PJ, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
The objective here is I want to spend the rest of our time together today going into the details of, well, what are the different flavors of projects that you might run? And guys, today we're talking about major Kaizen. So this is complex problems. This is problems that are going to require some dedicated initiatives that's going to be more than just a week or two. The kinds of problems that you attack with a route are going to take 2 or 3 months of dedicated work, maybe 4 or 5 subject matter experts. That's the level of problem we're talking about. Now, I think it's clear that you have a long history there at Berea of rapid improvement events or maybe some other methodologies, and that's cool, and nobody ever said stop that. That's for a different type of problem.
To the DMAIC or, a deeper process.
Well said. I think I heard another voice.
I was just thinking something along the lines of a process problem that's a little bit more complicated than most.
Yeah, guys. I'm glad this was recorded because those are excellent answers. That's absolutely the case. And so we, the people on this call, we need to get pretty good about thinking in terms of like a birthday cake. There's levels to problem solve. So the routes, the things we're going to talk about today, route's a weird word if you haven't encountered it yet. I hope most of you have, but it's just a structured checklist of how to solve a problem. Any of us, like back when I was starting out right out of the Navy and they, production supervisor, and they're like, hey, you need to figure this problem out. I'm doing the early version of the internet. I'm opening management books trying to figure out how to attack something. But routes are almost like a structured, generic problem-solving checklist based on the route, based on the loss that you're dealing with. So that's what we're going to focus on.
Comment to me, that as busy as that was an awesome overview of the whole process, and that to me is almost like standard work for WCM, right?
Fantastic. Yeah, great. I thank you, Ed, and I'd like to hear from a few more people because there was a lot of stuff he just covered. So let's slow down a little bit and let's break that apart. So some more people, tell me, who haven't I heard from?
It's almost like we should have saw that video the first day.
I think some of us did, Brian, but it makes more sense now. I think it's helpful to watch it before and during and maybe after we do some things.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Other takeaways from what we talked about. Who was that?
Hey, Brian.
To follow up on Scott's comment, I think that's something that should be shared with the teams when they launch, especially for the operators that are getting involved with these teams. It would give them a overview that we don't typically have. I mean, we talk about we're going to do a route and stuff, but that kind of puts it all together in a big picture that the operator and those that haven't been in some of these trainings would get when they get on a team for the.
Good. No, I'm glad to hear it. That's encouraging.
I'm just going to say I had not seen that before.
Okay.
So it was very enlightening, and I thought it was awesome.
Great. Okay, good. Hey guys, you're putting a big grin on my face. Okay, great. Let's keep moving then. So what was supposed to have happened just now is you got some context on what we're going to dive into now. But now it's time. Okay, so routes. He talked about routes generically. We need to drill down though. But this is in one place. This is not a slide that existed until about Wednesday of this week. Scotty and I were prepping for today. We wanted to have a graphic where you could kind of see it all in one page.
Hi, Richie. Hey, do you mind if I interview you for a WCM video real quick?
Sure.
Richie, if you could just introduce yourself and what you do here at the plant and how long you've been here.
Yeah, I'm Richie Sloan. I've been at the plant 26 years. I've served in various roles, from operator up to area leader. Currently, I'm the EHS facilitator here at the plant.
All right, thanks, Richie. So, Richie, you've been on some teams. How many lost teams have you been on or supported?
This is the first lost team that I've been on.
And you were actually the leader on the team that you were on, right? You were the team, so that's impressive. So what was the loss your team was attacking?
We were the heat seekers. We were attacking heat up on the mezzanine area to reduce heat-related injuries. being on the EHS side, it was something that was really important to us, you know, because heat-related injuries were on the rise last year, and we had one in prior years, a couple years before, so we felt like it was really important to attack that issue.
Yeah, I think a lot of the employees on the floor would appreciate that. So, next question: do you feel like that the loss you guys were working on was important to the plant and to the employees?
Oh, absolutely. When we're talking about health and safety, you know, the safety of our employees is first and foremost. You know, it is a core value for us, so we absolutely want to do at least one event like this every year to make sure we're attacking issues in a systematic way.
So do you feel like your team experience was a positive experience, leading the team?
Everyone on the team chipped in, and we achieved the results and the goals that we set for ourselves, and we actually have an activity we're going to be completing because we had to wait for a cool room to get here. We're going to be buttoning that up. You know, that's in the planning stages right now, getting the team back together to do that. But we have reduced the heat in the targeted areas that we target.
Great. So did you learn about the loss team methodology? You know, I know you did, being the leader, team boards and routes and master plans and how it all fits together.
Yeah, I learned a lot, you know, because we were accustomed to the old CI methods, you know, as far as, you know, the structure of it, the way it was laid out. It was a little confusing in the beginning because none of the routes actually quite matched up to what we were trying to accomplish. But we worked through it as a team, you know, we made it work, you know, and at the end, you know, I feel confident I can lead one again.
Great. Richie, I thank you for your time.